9 experienced hikers walk into the icy wilderness of the Ural Mountains. Hours later, their tent is found, slashed open from the inside. Days later, their bodies are discovered. Scattered. Half-dressed. Some with crushed bones, one without a tongue. No one knows why they ran, or what they ran from. This is the Dyatlov Pass incident, one of the most baffling mysteries on Earth. January, 1959. 9 students from the Ural Polytechnic Institute set out on a 16-day expedition, led by 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, an elite mountaineer and meticulous planner. Their goal: reach the remote Atortin mountain, deep in the northern Urals. In the Soviet Union, these expeditions weren't just recreation, they were symbols of discipline, honor, and endurance. Every member was trained. Every piece of gear inspected, logged, and tested. They carried cameras, journals, and skis, documenting every cheerful step. But on the night of February 1st, as a blizzard swept across a ridge later called Kholat Syakhl, Dead Mountain, in the local Mansi language, something happened. Something no amount of training could explain. When the hikers didn't return on schedule, a search party was dispatched. What they found felt like the opening scene of a horror film. A single tent, collapsed, half buried in snow, cut open from the inside. Boots, coats, food, all left behind. Footprints, some barefoot, others in socks, led away from the tent, into the forest. Under a tall cedar tree, 2 bodies were found. Barefoot. Dressed only in underwear. Nearby, the remains of a small campfire, its ashes cold. 3 more bodies were found between the tree and the tent. Their hands frozen mid-crawl, as if trying to return. Then, months later, when the snow melted, searchers uncovered the remaining 4. They were lying in a ravine. And what rescuers saw defied explanation. 1 had a crushed skull. 2 had shattered ribs, with internal damage likened to a car crash, yet their skin showed no bruises. 1 woman, Lyudmila Dubinina, was missing her eyes and her tongue. And tests revealed something else, radioactivity, on their clothing. The official report? Cause of death: unknown compelling force. For decades, investigators, journalists, and scientists have tried to decode the Dyatlov mystery. And each theory only raises more questions. Theory 1: avalanche. Perhaps a small slide struck the tent, causing panic. The group might have fled half-clothed into the night, blinded by snow and fear. But the slope was shallow, and no debris was ever found. Even modern simulations show the tent's angle made a major avalanche almost impossible. Theory 2: Soviet military testing. Some believe they stumbled into a secret weapons experiment, perhaps a parachute mine test. It could explain the internal trauma and strange burns. The radiation. And the silence in Soviet archives. But with no declassified record, it remains only suspicion. Theory 3: Infrasound. A rare wind phenomenon, called the Kármán vortex street, can produce low-frequency sound waves. These vibrations can trigger panic, nausea, and disorientation. Could invisible sound have driven them mad with fear? Maybe, but infrasound doesn't crush ribs like a car accident. Theory 4: Something not human. Locals whisper of the Mansi Menk, a yeti-like creature said to haunt these slopes. On one of the hikers' final photos, a dark, towering figure appears in the trees. Coincidence? Or something watching them from the woods? Theory 5: Each other. Extreme cold can cause paradoxical undressing, the body's final confusion before death by hypothermia. Some think they turned violent, delirious, in those final hours. But how do you explain internal fractures without external wounds? Every explanation fits part of the puzzle, yet none fit the whole. What happened on Dead Mountain has survived investigations, documentaries, declassified Soviet files, even modern forensic reconstructions. And still, no theory covers every detail. 9 trained adults ran into the night, half naked, in sub-zero temperatures, from something they feared more than death itself. So we're left with the same haunting question the rescue teams whispered in 1959. What did they see? What did they hear? And, if someone does know the truth, why has it never been allowed to reach us? Let me know what you think happened at Dyatlov Pass. Because this case? It's still wide open.